Yo, what's going on, guys? Hope you're having an awesome day. I wanted to talk about this topic of understanding what you actually want in life because I realize a lot of guys, especially my age, we're told a lot of things, whether it's by social media or the people around us or, whatever is in our environment. It's telling us the things that we should want, like, oh, you should want a whole bunch of money, cars, these nice houses, these expensive things, want a whole bunch of girls around you and, all these external things that we think that we should want. And, we actually become convinced, oh yeah, I really do want these things. But when we get down to the core of it and when you ask yourself, okay, what do I actually want? Most of the times it's not actually those things. So pretty much what it comes down to is understanding what your values are, not what anybody else's values are, what your values are. Pretty much what your values are these feelings or these emotional states that you want to feel. So, some people think, okay, well, I really value money, but nobody actually values money. Like nobody actually values the paper or the coin or like the digital whatever. What we actually value is the feelings or the states that we get from having money. So, for a lot of people, okay, having money means a sense or having that sense of security or having that sense of, comfort or having a sense of freedom. Those emotional states, those are the things that we actually want from money. We don't actually value like the paper. We value those emotional states. Or for example, you could say, okay, well, I really value family. Well, you don't actually value family. Like you don't value the construct of family or anything like that. What you actually value is the feelings or the emotional states that you get when you think about family, which can be a feeling of love, connection, or, warmth or whatever it is. So to be clear, what your values are these intangible things, but like these emotional states that you get from whatever these things are. And what's important to come to terms with is, okay, what are your actual values and like what is the hierarchy of those values? So for me, my top 3 values would be health and vitality, because I love the feeling of being healthy and having energy and vitality. It just like makes me feel good. I think it's really important because if you don't have health and vitality, you pretty much have nothing. You can't do anything and you're pretty much just a potato and life kind of sucks. Second value would be love and warmth, having that connection with other people, having warm feelings toward them, feeling friendly and whatever, just being able to connect with other people. That's super important to me. Then third value is growth, the feeling of progress and always going to a higher and higher levels and, leveling up. That's something that is really valuable to me. Understanding these values, it helps me to make better decisions, choose better goals. And again, it's super important to get clear on whatever these values are for you. I'm going to help you to come up with your list of values in a second. So basically, once you have these list of values, what you're going to do, or first off, what you want to do is like actually think of like these values. So like, what are your values? What are the things that you value the most in life? Like you could say, okay, well, I really value money. But again, you don't value money. What are the emotional states that you value from getting money, which could be freedom or, a sense of security? If you really enjoy, I don't know, something like working out, okay, you don't value actually working out. What you value is the sense of, having good health or like having an energy. Just come up with a list of what are those emotional states that you value the most, and then put it into a list of, okay, which is the most important, which is the most important emotional state, which is the most important value that I have, and then, rank them. It can kind of be difficult to like choose one over the another, but if you just take some time and just like create an arbitrary list and, work with it, you'll be able to like eventually tweak it. But yeah, that's not the important part. Pretty much just having these lists of values. And then once you have these lists of values, once you start to make decisions of the direction that you're going to take your life in, so like if you're going to make a decision of what job you're going to go into, if you value something like freedom and you're going to go into a job that takes 12 hours out of every single day and you don't have any time to be with your family, you don't have any time to do any of the things that you want, well, maybe you shouldn't actually choose that opportunity. Maybe it'd be far better for you to choose something where you have more freedom if freedom is like very high on your values list. Or for example, if something you really value is like love and like that's very high on your value list, you may not want to choose something where you're isolated from people and you can't like talk with other people and, be around people that you enjoy. Maybe you choose a different opportunity or make a different decision so that you can be fulfilling this value. Because again, there are these people who they think what they want in life is like the money or like the popularity or like these external things. But, you know, if you listen to these interviews of like these people who have gotten that level of success, they don't actually feel fulfilled with their life. And like, they have this sense of regret, like, oh yeah, I made $1 billion, but you know, what I had to do for that was I had to like ignore my love life, and you know, now I'm divorced and I didn't have enough time to spend with my kids. And it's like, it would have been far better for them to maybe not make that $1 billion, maybe, you know, have a little bit less money, but still like have those values and being able to fulfill those values, to be able to have that family and like have that loving connection. I hope that makes sense. Basically, by having this list of values and understanding what these are and like writing them down, you'll be able to make better decisions and know, okay, if I go with this, yeah, I could like get this external thing. Like I could like make a lot more money, or, you know, maybe other people would think more highly of me. But if it doesn't align with my values, I'm just going to go and choose like a different thing. Like something that literally happened to me in the last summer, or yeah, this past summer, I made the most money I have ever within like a 2-month period. And, you know, I thought that it would feel better and like feel way more awesome. But to be honest, it kind of felt empty because I was like, yeah, I made a lot of money, but I mean, I didn't feel good about it. Like I didn't do anything immoral. Like it was just like a regular job or whatever, but I didn't enjoy it. I didn't really find purpose in doing it. Versus I made money working on a side hustle business that I felt really purposeful, like I was actually contributing, doing something that I actually found meaningful and helpful. And even though I made way less money doing that, looking back on it, I feel way better about doing it because I was more aligned with my values. I got to feel a sense of freedom. I got to feel a sense of contribution that I didn't when I like made a whole bunch of money doing something that wasn't as purposeful. Now, obviously, there are circumstances, like I'm giving the example of money a lot, and, you know, there may be a lot of you may be in a circumstance where, okay, money is really important and you're going to have to, you know, kind of ignore some of these other values. Like say, you know, you're in debt, you're really broke, and, you know, someone dangles $1,000 in front of you and you gotta, you know, do something that you may not want to. I understand like being in that survival mode, like sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. But at the same time, I'm trying to like say, okay, long-term vision for what your life is going to turn out, long-term vision for the goals that you want to achieve. Think about having goals and having a long-term vision of something that aligns with what your actual values are. Don't just focus on what the money is. Don't just focus on the popularity, the fame, these external things that a lot of people want to convince you is important because, you know, it's good for marketing or whatever. Find out what your actual values are and live with them, or align your decisions with them. Last point that I'll make, which is definitely important to understand, is that when it comes to fulfilling these values, you want to make it as easy as possible for you to fulfill that rather than making it very difficult. What I mean by this is that if one of your highest values is love and feeling like connected to other people, if to feel love, you know, what you have in your brain is, okay, to feel love, you know, a lot of people have to be around me and like touching me, kissing me, and, you know, saying all of these like nice things to me, and that's the only way that you can feel love. That's going to make your life very difficult because you're going to go through life and not feel as much love as you possibly could. Rather, if you made it a lot easier for you to feel a sense of love, things are just going to be a lot easier for you. So like, again, for example, if the only way that you could feel love is like a whole bunch of people are giving you attention, like saying these nice things to you, and that's the only way that you could feel love, realistically, that's just not going to happen that often. So what you could do is change your definition of what it takes to feel love. Like instead of like relying on like some external thing, maybe you just make it so, okay, well, to feel love, I just have to give love and I have to feel loving towards other people. And that's the way that you know, feel love. Like that's what I do. That's how I have it set up in my head. And it may sound silly, but it works. Like, I don't have to be around people who I know. If I'm literally just like walking down, you know, this place and like I see someone and I like give them a warm smile and like say what's up, I can feel that sense of love just by like giving that sense of love. Because usually, you know, when you give that like kind of energy out, people will respond and like give you like a nice wave or like hello back, and then you know, you feel that sense of love. I gave the example earlier of like, you know, working this 12-hour shift like a day, and like it may not be the best decision if one of your highest values is freedom, but if you can set it up in your mind where it takes a very low threshold to actually feel a sense of freedom, like instead of, for some people, they have it set up in their mind, okay, to feel a sense of freedom, I can't be told what to do by anyone, like I can't be told what to do by like any boss or whatever. I have to like have complete freedom, like I have to follow no rules or whatever. If you have it set up like that in your head, it's going to be very hard for you to feel a sense of freedom on a daily basis, which is just going to make you miserable. But if you set it up in your mind where, okay, well, to feel freedom, just like make it way easier. Like, okay, well, to feel freedom, I just have to feel like what I'm doing is what I actually want to do. And, to feel what I'm doing is what I actually want to do, I just have to decide that that's what I want to do. Like something that could sound like very stupid if you like explain it to someone else, but if it makes sense to you, it makes sense to you and it works for you. Just make fulfilling these values for you as easy as possible, because it'll make the quality of your life so much better, and it just makes things like way easier for you, because it's something that I wasn't doing at first, and it just made me feel kind of miserable. Like if I couldn't work out, or if I wasn't working out 5 times a week, I'd start feeling miserable, like, oh, I'm not as healthy, or I'm not like, doing everything that I should be. But then I just changed it. Okay, well, if I do something that's healthy, like if I focus on my breath, if I focus on, if I do an exercise, if I can just do some push-ups, if I can drink some water, like do any of these things that are like healthy, I can feel that sense of health and vitality. And I set the bar way lower to feel that sense of health and vitality. That doesn't mean that, I'm just gonna like slack on these things. It doesn't mean that, by setting this like barrier lower that I'm not going to be able to fulfill these things. It just makes it so that you can feel better on a daily basis. And of course, you're probably just gonna like do more things to feel more of that anyways. Like if you want to feel a lot of love, yeah, if you set the barrier low, that could feel good and you could like have a sense of fulfillment. But if love is, again, really high on your priority list, really high on your value list, you're probably going to do more things than that anyways. But again, you just set the bar low so that you can, feel that baseline and not feel miserable. I hope that makes sense. But anyways, if you got some value from this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe. Other than that, peace out.